Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Beyond the Kai podcast. This is episode 33, and on this podcast, we will be talking about Sensei Kim Da-Eun from Cobra Kai.
Absolutely. Wanna like Cobra Kai's first female sensei.
Yeah, and 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 the two co-hosts with me are Jake the Snake
Yo, what's up, guys?
and our homegirl since forever, Melissa.
Bonsai. This is gonna be one amazing stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Yep.
So I have I have uh 6 topics listed. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So what are the topics?
Yeah.
Okay.
We hear you.
All right. Topic. One. Best and worst moments. Uh. Two. Best fights. Three. One or two things that you can change about the character. 4.
Okay, so wait, so
Wait,
you're
hold
talking.
on. Wait.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
4. Uh, her family dynamics. 5. Connections with Master Kim, Kreese, Silver, Quan, Chosen, Tori, Devin, and and Johnny. And the last topic is uh talk about her character in Cobra Kai.
Okay. So wait, so the first one is what's the first one again? The
Um uh
what did we change about her?
no her the first topic is best and worst moments.
Okay, her best moments
Yeah.
for me. Uh I mean, because we didn't really get to see that much of her in either seasons 5 nor 6. I mean, well, we didn't we didn't get to really see, or we didn't really get to dive so much into her character, I should say, in neither seasons 5 nor 6. So it's a little bit tricky for me to see what her like her best moments are. Uh,
Okay.
I mean, horrific fan, horror fan.
Sensei Kim was Sensei Kim was underused in this show. She barely did anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Oh, we lost Jake. We lost Jake. Oh, okay. Jake had to sign off and he's coming. He's coming back. But I would
Yeah.
say for me, I guess I would say her best moments are with Crease.
All right. Better. That's better.
A, I would say her best moments are with Crease. I mean,
Yeah.
I, I that's really all the much I could say. I mean, I do kind of respect the fact that she does try to honor her family's loyalty, or
Yeah.
her family's legacy. I mean, so I do respect that fact, even though her family's legacy is kind of messed up in that
Yeah.
sense. And see, I just felt like her redemption, like the change in her character felt like it happened too soon. Like with her, because it felt like they had her like as such a villain in season 5, and then just boom in season 6, we're supposed to feel like she's a sympathetic character, and by putting her with Chosen, and like I felt like they were trying to push it too soon. I felt like so I just felt like they did such a switch to her character so like too fast,
Yeah. Yeah. It.
Of how late they introduced her, and like in season 5, she was a straight up villain.
Yeah. She was.
Yeah, so I felt because I felt like they should have. They felt like they pushed it too soon, you know. Um, but I felt like if there's one thing, maybe like not necessarily the best, but what I respect about her character is her love and loyalty to her family, and those she considers to be a friend. Yeah, um, Lanny, I would
Silver did
say,
more in season
yeah, he
6
did.
than Sensei Kim.
He did, but he's such an icon. Like Sensei Kim is a new character that was just introduced. Silver is an iconic character that was introduced in the Karate Kid film, in Karate
Yeah.
Kid 3. So
Yeah, that's a
like
good point.
so he's not new. Sensei Kim just came in season 5. So she's like a totally new character. So I just feel like they made her character really more confusing in one season she's a villain. Now we're supposed to feel now in season 6 we're supposed to feel sympathy for her.
Hmm.
And it's like now like they're trying to cuz they're trying to push a romance between Chosen and Kim, and I feel like they were going to do that, then maybe we should have gotten introduced to Kim's character sooner rather than later.
Right.
Yeah. That would have been more uh, 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 sense.
So that is what I like about Kim. I like her. I respect her loyalty to her family and to her friends. So I do respect that. I do. She does hold honor. So
Yeah.
I will, and I do think that I do respect her relationship with Chosen. I'm not a fan of it because I feel like because of how they put it in there.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm against these characters being together, but I'm not a fan, but it's just that I'm not a fan of how they put it in there, because in season 5 they hated each other. Now all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that they're in this romance together. It just
Hmm.
kind of like doesn't, like, it doesn't add up, you know? Like,
Right. Yeah.
it feels too forced. Like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like, or maybe season 4. Like, just, I mean, I'm not sure like which season that they should have added her in, but anything before season 5, if they knew that they were going to end the season and end the show at season 6.
Yeah.
If they knew that they were gonna end the show at season 6, which they did by season 5, at least by season 5, they knew, or at least and even before then, before the bit, but yeah, as quoted by the big three, that they knew that this show was going to end at season 6.
Yeah.
Then
Hmm.
they should have introduced her soon. Then, in my opinion, it should have been sooner rather than later.
Right.
Um, so that is what I like about Kim. And like I said, it's not that I'm chosen in Kim's relationship. I'm just against how they put it in there, because it feels too forced. It wasn't set up. It
Yeah.
felt like
It
they
just
were
literally came
shoved
out of
together
nowhere.
because it felt like they were just shoving them together because of how, like, because this was the fun, because they were getting near the end and they had to do it.
Hmm.
And there was no setup, no build up for it.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. I feel like it was too sudden.
Yeah, if they set it up properly, then I wouldn't be against, then I wouldn't I would be more for it.
Yeah.
But because they didn't do that, it's like I'm not to say that I'm against the relationship, it's just that I'm against of how they of how they put it in. They didn't put it in the way that they should have.
Right.
In a way that says, okay, I could see these characters being together.
Right. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Hmm.
The big three did tease that ending
Yes,
of Cobra Kai is not the last time we're gonna see these characters. Yeah.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely, yes. They did. They've been teasing that, and I think it's now come to the point where it's not just a tease, it's gonna happen. So I I do understand that. I'm just talking about in regards to the ending of Cobra Kai, of the Cobra Kai show, that it just felt too forced. Like they were trying to push a relationship between them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
That's
do.
and we could see them in a spin-off, and like we could see them in a spin-off where we explore this relationship and we see it grow and blossom, and we could be for that, and I we all could be for that relationship in in that spin-off. But in regards to Cobra Kai itself, with where
Yeah.
these two characters are concerned, the show, it felt too pushed.
Right. Yeah.
Too
Yeah,
But in a spin-off where we actually see these characters, where we see this romance grow and blossom and all of that, then like we could be all for that relationship in the spin-off. But in regards to Cobra Kai, it felt too pushed together. Felt like it was forced, and I don't think that that is a good. And for any character, even if we're going to explore their character further in spin-offs in regards to a certain show, I don't think that that's right for any character at all.
Right.
Especially
Yeah.
when we've had seasons where especially in Cobra Kai, where we've had characters and seasons, especially in Cobra Kai, where we've had characters where we've got to see relationships grow and develop properly, like and like properly to where we're all for it, and we're glad that we were and we're glad we were taken through the journey and ride of it in Cobra Kai, to where we actually look forward to seeing what's next for these characters in a spin-off. Like, where do they go from there? Like Johnny and Daniel, Robbie and Tori, Sam and Miguel.
Yeah.
Even Kenny and Anthony. I mean, even Kenny and Devin, but Kenny and Anthony too. Kenny and Anthony too, and Sam and Tori.
Facts.
Relationships aren't just boyfriend girlfriend. They could be any form of relationship, where you're interested in seeing how it continues, where it goes, because of how it was set up in Cobra Kai. Like because of where it started,
Yeah.
So in regards to like and what was the second one? Like you said, the first one was the Best of Kim, right?
Yeah.
So
Best and worst moments.
Best and worst moments. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm at her worst moments. Okay, number one for me, when she had Tori break that stone dummy.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was just an all around. I can't say this because we're on. I can't say the name that I'm thinking of. Because we're on YouTube, but an all around witch. I'll say witch to Tori. Going after her like that. Like, that was just so like she was a real cold-blooded monster.
Yeah.
And
He actually was, though. I mean,
really, I feel sympathy for her because she was just doing what her grandfather taught her to do, but my God. She was like, and her like beating Tori up in the dojo brawl like that. Like, seriously.
yeah, I was like,
And stepping on her hand, the hand that she had her break. Like, how cold can you get?
Yeah.
So number one for me, right there, worst moment.
yeah,
So like, it's like you can't get colder than that.
same here.
Cobra Kai. It was
Same
like,
here.
yeah.
And here is Sith Lord Joey.
Oh, Joe's here. Yay.
Hey, Joe.
Yo, what's up?
Hey guys, sorry I was taking a little nap. I had a long day. What's going
Yeah,
on?
no worries.
Oh,
So we're
sorry.
talking about Kim.
About Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim's a really interesting character. I really wish that she would have gotten a lot more attention, and I hope that a spinoff could push that narrative.
Yes, that's what we were just talking about. I
Yeah, we
talked
were
about
just
like what
we
Joe?
we
Jake?
Oh, I was just
we were talking about our best and worst moments, and Melissa was just talking about one of her worst moments, and I think all three of us agree with it.
Worst
what's
number
her,
one moment for me
Yeah,
is breaking Tori's hand.
oh, so we're just talking. So we're talking like worst moments in terms of like we didn't like the things she did, or like what's
yeah,
Yeah,
just
well,
worst
and
moments. Yeah,
and basically a combination of both. Like worst moments for her as a character and worst moments that she did.
See, for
So
me, when I think worst moments, I'm thinking of things that make that her character did that made her a bad character until she's written better, right? So,
yeah, well
so to
that's
me,
what I'm basically
so
talking
to me,
to.
that scene would be a best moment for me because it pushed it pushed the narrative for both Tori and Kim forward. It did something for the story, which means the writers did a good job with the character. I still
Okay.
think, and this is what's unfortunate, the worst moment for Kim Da-Eun for me is definitely her in part 3 killing Master Kim.
Yeah.
because
Yo, that
because
was unexpected.
because yes, it was unexpected, and yes, the great surprise, but not only did it make it underutilize uh, a character we wanted to see more from, but also it it's very out of character for her because to me, I've been doing some thinking on it and understanding her character, and even though he was evil, there's nothing in her character that says that that's something she would do.
Yeah. And
So
something else I would say is probably like I mean, so thinking like that in terms of that, now thinking in that direction,
yeah,
I would say probably her best moment would be for me like would be when she actually I take when she actually was fighting Tori because like and her actually stepping on her hand. I know I said that it was her like her worst in regards to actions, but now like narratively speaking, I would say that was probably her best because narr- from a narrative point because it caused like Sam and Tori to actually do the one thing we've actually been wanting to see since season 4,
yeah,
and that's fight together.
yeah,
Fight
that was
side
pretty
by
cool.
side.
Horror
Yeah.
fanatic. Um, Sensei Kim was underutilized in this show. She barely did anything. Yeah, she was very underutilized, I'd say.
Yeah. So
But the
I
good
would
news is,
agree with that.
I think the writers know that, and I think there is a good chance that we are going to get
A spinoff.
we're going to get that Chosen and Kim spinoff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kim
Kim's worst
What
moment
was
was
the
teaming up
announcement?
with Kreese. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you think that's the worst moment because we all knew that that was going to be a moment that actually most fans were looking forward to, considering their history.
Can I be
So,
honest with you guys?
yeah, Chosen.
I actually liked her teaming up with Silver better, in my opinion. It was more like I don't know, for some reason when I was watching season 5 for the first time, when we first got her and Silver's team up was actually much better in my opinion. Because
Well, thank
I
you
don't know
for
what it
bringing that
was.
up because that brings up my point even further, Chosen, about what I was saying before you came in. Because I was saying that her worst moment is her killing Master Kim, right? And
Yeah.
and so the reason why is, as I was explaining to Melissa, is that it doesn't go with her character.
You know
And
another thing I don't like too, Joe, and I'm glad you
yeah,
brought that up. I wish they made her. I wish she was still a villain in season 6.
I'll be honest. I'll be really honest, and I'm going to say something. I know I've called a lot of shots, and I've defended the creators, and I've said a lot of things. I think pushing Kim towards redemption was a mistake.
Yeah.
And you want to know something
He's
interesting?
soon,
You
you know.
want to know something even more
Especially with
interesting
the show
about that?
coming to the end.
Here's something I think
I
that's really
agree.
interesting about that thing. You know what makes that really really interesting?
But
Here's what
Yeah.
makes the whole pushing it to redemption really really interesting. The actress that plays Kim herself was dissatisfied with her character because
Yeah.
before season 6 came out,
Okay.
before we were even talking about Julie and her fighting if they were ever able to get her, which we still didn't get because I still am mad at Julie Pierce. Well, not Julie Pierce. I'm mad at Hilary Swank. But so anyway, back at the end of season 5, when they're getting ready to shoot season 6, she was talking about that she wanted to be able to fight. She wanted to have an actual fight against a proper one of the good guys' senses and have a really good villain moment, right? And if you watch season 5, when she shows up in the dojo after Chosen and Johnny are fighting the blonde sensei, right? They were setting up Johnny and Kim to fight. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
Yeah.
when she was teasing him and thought he was Daniel, that was
Yeah.
her. I think she knew that was Johnny, but I think she was doing that to really get under his skin, to really kind of build that rivalry.
You know,
Go ahead, Chosen.
I actually do agree with you on that, Joe. And another thing they should have done in part 1, I feel like it was a big mistake. I would have made Kim the villain, and you know what else I would have added in to make it more better? I would actually have Kim be the one to recruit Sensei Wolf.
Well, yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What you?
Yeah, that would've
Here's the
been-
thing, though. The only difference with that, though, is though there'd only be one issue with that situation, and the only issue would be is that the reason that it was Silver was because Silver had left Cobra Kai behind.
I wish that never happened. Silver should never left Cobra Kai. I would actually this isn't a big issue, and I'm so annoyed by this. As much as I love Iron Dragons, I think they're a great dojo. I do wish though somehow, some way they made Korean Cobra Kai a bigger threat, because I feel like after watching part 2, I'm like, they made them a joke after part 2.
Well, if you look at even before we got part 2, if you look at Tyrell's script that he made when we were writing the show, we had a much better idea of how to make him more threatening in part 1.
We did.
And the fact the writers the thing that makes me upset is I compared Kim Da-Eun to Ventress because she has shades of both. Eventually, you could have done the Chosen and Kim thing in the end, right? But you could have done it in the ends of situations. If you're going to really set up this spinoff, they could have done make it kind of a Luke and Vader type deal, right? Where the very end, Chosen and Kim share a moment, and that kind of sets up spinoff. I would have liked her to be, when Kreese was kind of shown to go off the deep end, what should have happened, in my opinion, is even though towards the end when she was getting conflicted with everything that was Master Kim, she should have been just as nasty and when Kreese tried to leave, she should have fought Kreese and said, you failed. You said you're going to deliver the Sekai Taikai. You didn't. You're not among us. You're not as strong as I thought. Because that's where I thought they were going to go. I thought they were just going to make her
Yeah, me too.
because there was no, and I don't want to be this person, but I'm going to say it. Other than the teens, there is one of the things that this show had the opportunity to do that they lost and squandered is we could have had a good female adult villain.
Mm-hmm.
And they squandered that.
Actually, another thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, Joe. Another problem the show has, it's not only female villains, it's teen villains too. They have a big issue with teen antagonists. I don't know what the writers were smoking when they were killing off Quan. Quan could have been such a great antagonist, but they completely wasted his character. I'm like, okay. You just wasted a great antagonist for Miyagi.
My whole thing is that if you were gonna keep Kim evil, what you should have done, whether you kill Master Kim or don't kill Master Kim, it doesn't matter. I still think, and people can say what they want. I'm gonna forever hold a grudge against the writers because I wrote a better finale than they did, and
Yeah,
and
you
that
did.
upsets me because I don't like to put two universes together. I know people are kind of mad at Marvel right now, but John, Josh, and Hayden, I'm gonna speak directly to you right now, okay? For the love of God, did you not fucking watch Avengers Endgame? When you make a finale, that is how you bring a big antagonist and you have him stand off against our heroes. You had Johnny and Daniel's bond through that season set up to bring them back together. You had these three great good guy heroes. There's your big three. You have them. You introduced them. You gave them their story. They needed a big threat that was going to be dangerous to them. And you had the opportunity to do that. And you neglected to do that. And then you neglected not only kill him, but he didn't even get to meet. What was all the buildup for this character? And he didn't even meet the character that he should have met.
And another thing, Joe, I want to bring up. I want to bring back to Quan is that I know a lot of people have been telling me that the only reason why they killed Quan is because of Kree's redemption. That is wrong. Because I was actually talking to Karate, and Karate does make a good point about this. The only reason they killed Quan is that they needed a cliffhanger. That's the only reason. That's the truth. You guys got to accept that. That's the real reason why Quan died. They needed a cliffhanger because, they want to hype up part 3. And that's the whole reason why Quan died. It wasn't because of Kreese. They could have redeemed Kreese anyways, but they were like, nope, we're not going to redeem him until the end. So it's not because of Kreese's redemption. It's because they needed a cliffhanger, which is so stupid. It's just a dumb excuse to kill off a character that just got introduced to the show, where you could have used him for spin-offs. I mean, if you're going to do it for Sensei Wolf, you could have done it with Quan, too. I mean...
That's true.
Yeah. So you know what?
What message disappeared? You know what I'm never using? You know what? I'm never using YouTube. Why are you never using YouTube?
I agree with that comment earlier. Korean Cobra Kai was a waste. I agree.
So and you know what I kind of wish though too that they would have added? I wish they would have added I wish they would have seen would have got to see Silver's and Master Kim's relationship, because I guarantee you it was probably closer than Kreese and Master Kim's relationship.
That's another issue with season 6.
That's my other complaint. Because I also wanted to bring this up, even though this isn't related to Master Kim, but since we're talking about it, I'll bring it up. I'm really mad that I know we had limited episodes. I know we could keep fantasizing. They could have made the episodes longer, whatever. But I still do not see a reason that, like, look, it was great that they got to see them training together, but they had Wolf go and be recruited from Silver, and then we saw them, like, how they interacted when he was hiring him, and then, they were training together to train the kids to make them ready for the tournament, right? Mm-hmm. But because they decided to go kill him in episode 14 with Kreese, we don't get to see what that perfect, what a Silver proper alliance would have looked like.
You see, now that's another issue. I'm glad you brought up Joe. You know what my big issue with that? Because we saw Johnny train Daniel with Daniel and Chosen, but one thing I am pissed off about that we never got to see Wolf's point of view of training for the Sensei bracket thing. I feel like what they should have done is that Silver should have trained with Sensei Wolf.
That was another thing I was going to make up, because I remember when we were theorizing about that, when they were showing the tournament, and obviously they already were establishing that Wolf was already a very dangerous fighter, but I do think that they should have made the finale long enough that we should have, if you're going to make the finale, if you're going to bring up the finale and you're going to have this big fight at the end, even though I wasn't happy with the tournament thing, if they're going to do the tournament angle, one thing they could have done, they spent so much time on showing Daniel and Chosen getting Johnny ready for this big fight, right? We should have seen Silver getting Wolf ready. Like we should have seen a adult version of a picture of Johnny on the wall with some wooden with a wooden dummy of him, right? With his face
Yep.
in it. And we should have heard Silver say one more time, "This guy wants to break you, stomp you into the ground. What are you going to do about it?" And then watch Wolf smash all the stuff. I think we should have got that. Because I think that
I
would have
want to
been
bring
great.
up a
I
comment.
wish we would wait, hold on. I wish we would have gotten a scene where we saw Sensei Wolf smashing that cement dummy that Kim had Tori break in season
Yes.
5. I wish we would have gotten a scene where we got Sensei Wolf not only smashing the head of the cement. I wish we would have gotten that same scene, but with Wolf and Silver, but with Wolf not only smashing the face of the cement dummy, but also all of it, like
Yeah.
the face,
Yo, that would
ribs,
have been
the
cool.
legs, and with ease too, without even breaking like a sweat. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's that
I would have loved
powerful.
that. I think that would have been great.
You know, I'm sick and tired of you people. I see a comment in the chat. Why bring up Quan? He wasn't. I don't care what you say, bro. Quan was a better character than most of the main characters in season 6. Okay, he was actually pretty. He was probably more interesting than some of the main characters because some of the main characters in the season.
Wait, hold.
Oh, yeah, Chosen's still responding. The person,
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Chosen.
I would say I feel like Quan's character was way more interesting than some of the main characters this season because. Yeah, I'm not gonna bring that up, but yeah, you can go, Joe.
I'm still mad because I said that we were gonna get that. I thought we would get it towards season 6 before it was even announced, and it just makes me mad that, like, even with his disease and the limited stuff that was going on, I still think, and I know people don't want repeats. I know that, we talked about that Daniel didn't have a rival in season 6, and I know we had a lot of it in season 5. But I'll be honest with you guys, even though we got Daniel and Dennis, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something crazy.
What?
I know people. So I'll say two things because they failed on two things that needed to happen. If they weren't going to have, if they for sure weren't going to have, if they really didn't want to rehash and really didn't want to have Daniel, Daniel and Silver fight again, what they should have done instead of just having Daniel kind of roast Silver with the Cobra Kai Never Dies thing, right?
Mhm.
What they should have done is they should have had Silver hurt Daniel, and then Daniel wasn't like when Silver, like the bathtub scene. That's great how he introed him, but imagine if Daniel was walking somewhere and didn't know where Silver was, right? And then Silver does his iconic kick, and then Daniel's kind of knocked out, and Silver's kind of going crazy, cocaine Silver in his face, and is going like, "Come on, LaRusso, wake up and smell the coffee." Miss
You know
LaRusso,
what, Joe? I'm glad you brought that
time
up.
to
You
get
know
up.
what?
And then this is
That's
the
the
thing
thing,
that
Joe.
pissed me off. Wait, I'm
There's
not done
there's
yet.
a way you could have done that though. Joe. There's a way you could have done it. You know
Okay.
how Daniel was on his Miyagi quest and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like Silver should have revealed himself in episode 7 instead of episode
I
8.
think so too. I think they should have like honestly, like, I get why him being in the bathtub was a good idea, but what I think they should have done is they should have shadowy revealed Silver. Like, since Daniel would have got knocked out, imagine like Silver reveals himself, but then like Daniel is so concussed by it that like literally when they go looking for Silver and they find out that Dennis and everyone that they've all been working together, right? And then you get the bathtub scene. It would be better if Daniel would have already had a glimpse that Silver was here, like in Barcelona. I think that would have been cool.
That's the thing. Like that would have been better.
But my whole point of the whole thing, Silver attacking Daniel, is because I want to set up something that the writers completely failed on that went nowhere. And they had a second opportunity at it, and they squandered it big time. And it happened in part 3, in the beginning of part 3. Do you know what I'm talking about? So
Well, I think I do.
They ended part 2 with they ended part 2, and I'll let you answer that question in a minute, Chosen. They ended part 2 with obviously Quan's death and the brawl and everything, and it stopped. But before it stopped, we were getting a glimpse of the rematch we all wanted to see, which was Johnny and Silver, right? And what we got, I'm sorry, people can say what they want. That was not a rematch. That was jumping in 5 minutes, saving Kreese like Revenge of the not Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, Luke Vader moment, right? And that's great and all, but they owed us. They built up these two being enemies. They owed us a proper final one-on-one fight between these two, where Johnny eventually gets to come out on top and prove that he's better at this stage. And
You know what, Joe? And I'm glad you brought that up. It's kind of stupid because I feel like in part 3, you know what should happen in part 3? Because Silver is the reason that Robbie got his knee broken, right?
Yep.
If I was Johnny personally, I would have went after Silver and just beat him up. Like, crazy.
That's what should have happened. I know people would have said, like, oh, that's a rehash of Johnny going and looking for Silver. But here's the thing that it wouldn't make it a rehash, right? If we got an entire episode where it was kind of like in season 4, but flipped, where this time Johnny's so angry, but also still in composure, and then you had set up that Johnny had really beat on Silver. I think that would have been a really cool thing, because one of my biggest issues I've noticed with part 3 in general, with that scene, is even though we had the moment where, when he got hurt, we got to see everyone, talking to Robbie. This is Johnny's son. He needed to have a better reaction than what he had to what happened.
Yeah, like you know what doesn't make sense? I was looking back, I was rewatching the scene where Miguel got his back hurt in the All Valley. How come Johnny had a better reaction in that scene than this scene? I'm sorry, that makes no sense. The writers clearly do not like Robbie and Johnny's relationship.
That was personally saying that was under Wolf's orders. Really? What is this person doing?
That was Silver though. Silver's the one that told Wolf. Like, he gave him the nod. Like, you saw how he was looking.
Mm-hmm. You gotta pay attention. Just because words aren't said, you guys gotta pay attention to those cues. Because the way if someone's body language is, the way if someone nods at another person, it usually means something.
Okay. Hey guys, I think we're on a.
We got a little off topic. I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just talking about what's in the chat because that made no sense.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what's going on with this whole. Who is this person that says?
Yeah.
Explain to me why Quan is a better character. That was under Wolf's orders, not Wolf. Well, why would you say that was under Wolf, not Wolf? That doesn't make your statement doesn't make sense, bro. You said that was under Wolf's orders, not Wolf. I'm like, did you meant to say that was under Wolf's orders, not Silver? They should have wrote Silver. Like,
I'll explain to you, Darla, why Quan's a better character real quick. Because I know I was supposed to explain it earlier. Here's why. Well, it's a new character. They're exploring Quan's, how he is and how he's such a good fighter, And we see how he's cocky, arrogant in the tournament. He's pretty skilled, Quan's actually pretty good in the tournament. I mean, he's the reason that Cobra Kai even won in the first place. So you got to give him some credit for that. And the other character is Miguel. Miguel is a crybaby. He keeps crying about, I want to be in Stanford. I want to be captain spot. Captain. And then Robbie's over here being depressed because Tori's in Cobra Kai again. Sam basically does nothing this whole season. She's in the background doing whatever. Tori, she's back in Cobra Kai. Repeat of everything that happened. She completely forget that she had a redemption arc. And Hawk, he's nerfed. Dimitri is annoying. Kenny barely does anything except for part 2. And Devin is annoying at times too. So yeah, there's my reason why Quan's better. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'll admit that we. Yeah, I wish we would have gotten to explore Quan as a character, but a lot. But it's just it is what it is,
Yeah,
Unfortunate. I wish they didn't kill him off, but unfortunately they did. They made the decision to, and it's just.
Sorry guys, I didn't have a picture on here yet, so I just went to change my picture real quick.
Well, if I was in the writer's room, while they were doing that idea, like, Quan should die. If I was in the writer's rooms, I would punch whoever came up with the idea. I would punch him in the face because
someone named James wants to know our favorite Cobra Kai YouTubers, and then the guy also said Cobra Kai wasn't in 7 through 8.
Quan? What do you mean Quan was in 7 and 8? He was in episode 8 and 7 too. What are you talking about? Have you not paid attention?
You doing good over
Wait,
there,
Wasn't
Jason?
wait, hold on. He said, wait, hold on. Darla said Quan wasn't in episode 7.8. Are you talking about
I think he's saying 7 and 8 because he's saying 7 and 8. I'm like, well,
now?
I think
I
he
mean, I
messed up in his wording.
do, yeah, I do kind of agree. I mean, because Quan was introduced so late into the show, I mean, he wasn't in like even in like all 15 like episodes, and he was only introduced in episode
3.
he was only in 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a little bit like, yeah, he's a good character, but you have to remember who these like who what the show what characters the show is really focusing on, and
Yeah, but at the same
characters
time, it
that have
doesn't
been
work.
there. It's the characters that have been there since the beginning.
But
Johnny,
that's not my problem, though. So that's not my problem. My problem with the characters that we have is that they don't know how to write these characters well in the seasons. Like Miguel is literally being a crybaby again, like the older season. I'm like, bro.
no, you're right. They should have wrote them better. You're right, and I
For
agree
Quan,
that, and
at
I
least for
agree.
Quan, I can
I mean,
understand Quan.
and
Because
I
Quan,
agree. Like with Quan, I agree that they should have that. I agree that Quan should not have died. I definitely agree with that. I think that maybe they should have like maybe at the very least maybe set him up to further his character in a spin-off. And you're right. It's because of Quan that Cobra Kai was at least able to stand a chance. And Johnny's Cobra Kai was able to stand a chance against beating the Iron Dragons. I
yeah,
agree
thank you.
100%. He was the one it was because of him and the points that they were able to they were able to do that. Without so that I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. But I'm just saying, like, we got to remember that, as unfortunate it is, Quan is a side character. Not to say that he deserved to be killed off, or not. But he is a side character, and these and the show needed to focus focus a lot more on the characters that it started with, and that's Johnny, Daniel, Sam, Robbie, Miguel, and though she came in at season 2, Tori, they've written her character so well now. It feels like she's been there since the beginning. Tori.
I will say, out of all the characters that you mentioned, I think Tori was the only one that I actually liked this season. Like, she's the only one I like. Everyone else sucks. Like, everyone in this whole, like, I don't get how new characters is better than the older characters. That's the thing I don't get. Like, writers, how can you do a better job with the new characters? Because I actually like Quan, not only Quan, I also like Yoon, too. Yoon was actually pretty cool.
And
Sensei
there's a
Wolf,
pretty good chance we might see Yoon in the future.
I still like Yoon, though, this season. I'm just talking about this season. Like, I think
Right.
all the new characters this season is better than the main characters. Because I actually like the new characters more, which is kind of sad and embarrassing because you're supposed to like the main characters more. But the newer characters are actually more interesting. Like Sensei Wolf, Quan, Yoon, and Zara was alright. I don't think they used her enough to make me feel like she was that great. Axel was boring. I didn't care about Axel. I'm sorry. He's just
Hey guys, I hate
Yeah. We're getting
guys, I hate to be this uh person, but
we're getting off topic.
yeah,
This is about Kim.
yeah.
This is about Sensei Kim. So let's return to the topic at hand.
I wish they did a better job with her character. I feel like she wasn't that great
Yeah.
this season. I'm sorry, Underground. It's the truth.
So
Yeah, that's yeah. I respect the opinion.
okay, so Underground, let's go over your list. Do you want to state your list again of what you want us to say about what you wanted us to discuss about Kim on this stream?
That's not me sitting next to a tombstone. That's Johnny, bro. Do you not remember? Come on.
So Underground, let's
All right. My first topic was best and worst moments of Sensei Kim.
Okay. So I already stated my best, and thanks to Joe, I'm switching a little bit gears when it comes to her. I'm switching a little bit of gears when it comes to best and worst. So I would say like more like a combination. Like her worst moment was when she forced Tori to punch through through solid stone, breaking her hand, because that to me was the coldest thing you could do.
Yeah,
But
that
at
was
the same
dark.
time, though, narratively speaking, it was her best, because that was the final straw for Tori. Like that pushed her away from that pushed her out of Cobra Kai. That gave her the necessary push to push her away from Cobra Kai and away from John Kreese. So that was the final straw. And her as well as her, like I said, narratively speaking, her fight with Tori in the dojo, because that's what allowed Sam and Tori for us to finally get something we have always been wanting to see between these two characters, and that at least since season 4, uh that's Sam and Tori fighting together side
That
by
was a
side.
good scene.
Yeah.
So that was a great scene. Her worst moments, narratively speak narratively speaking, um her moments with um her moments kind of like, again, combination. um Narratively speaking, I would say her moments with Chosen, because again there was no setup, no setup
Yeah.
to it.
True.
Um, so now in a spinoff, they could allow us to delve more into that relationship, and where I could say, okay, this is a great relationship, but in regards to Cobra Kai itself, the way they kind of just pushed them together,
Yeah, they
that was
just
it.
threw
That
him
was
there.
that was the worst. Um, her worst moment as a character, I would say, oh, is that really Tyrell?
Wait, what?
Is that really Tyrell?
Let me see. I'm gonna check. Hold on.
I'm gonna
Oh,
check.
I'm gonna
Hold
check.
on,
Don't worry.
I'll
I'm gonna
check.
check. I'm gonna check. I got it already.
Oh wait, I don't think it is. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, it's not him. He doesn't have any of his streams on there, so no.
Okay. So I would say her worst moment as a character is just like
Wait.
her like going at like when she confronted Tori, like she gave like the worst cringy line in season 5. Like
Wait, what was the cringy line again?
it's like she sounded way too much like a cartoon villain, like saying, "Oh, let this be my final lesson to you, and a more painful one than the last." Like she made it sound way too much like
I mean, better.
a cartoon
Can I
line.
be, can I be honest about that?
That's
I mean,
best.
I'm not talking about in regards to the entire show. I know there have been characters who've had worse cringer lines. I know that. I'm talking about
Can I be,
Wait,
can
Joe,
I,
what
can I be honest about that for a minute? I know why they did that, and I actually think that that was something they actually did right, because while you can write different characters different ways, while the show kind of lives in that 80s era, there's a difference between cartoon villain like what they did to Connor in Karate Kid Legends, and then there's what they did to Kim Da-Eun.
Yeah, I hear you, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. Is like I don't mind so much about them like saying like, oh well, it's like it's like I warned Silver that you couldn't be trusted. If they just would have cut the line right there, if they just would have like had her stop right there and just like have her get ready for a fight to give Tori a beatdown, I would have been fine with that. But it's like adding that last part is like, let this be my final lesson to you and a more painful one than last. It sounded way too cartoony. Like,
Well,
for
you know
her
what
to
I
That's
felt.
better.
Well, you know what I felt about that I think they were trying to do. It felt to me, and Underground probably knows what I'm talking about. I felt they were going for more of an anime vibe, and I was fine
yeah,
with
that's what
that.
I mean. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't work for her character. Like just that line. I'm not talking about the whole line. Like if
I
they
think
like I
it
said,
worked fine for her character. I
I
think it
think we're
worked
fine. I
fine.
mean, Joe. I want to look at what is another character? Quan. Quan said some funny lines. Like, I mean, he's an also like Quan and Kim. Like both of them, they everyone sees them as like anime villains, right, Joe?
I
Like,
mean,
both of them?
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, I'm not saying like it's a bad line, but I'm just saying it's like for her character, it sounded way too much like a cartoon villain kind of line. Like
I
I'm
mean, you
just
want to
talking
talk about
about that.
cartoon
I'm
villain
just talking
line?
about that line, not the whole like I warned Silver you couldn't be trusted. Like if they would have ended the line right, like if they would have had her like, if they would have ended the line and if they would have not added, let this be my final lesson to you and a more painful one than last. I would say that was a good line. Like
Do you know
I
why? Do you
want
know why they did? Do
her
you know why they
saying,
did that though,
I'm
Melissa?
saying, what?
There's a thing there's a big thing people miss about Cobra Kai that people don't understand. Even though the show is continued from the Karate Kid, you guys are all
Right.
forgetting about the most important thing in these franchises. That, as George Lucas said, history repeats itself. Right?
I know.
And
Yeah.
what I mean
And
by
I was
that
gonna, I was
is,
gonna mention
what I mean,
something
I said
earlier.
this. Let me say this real quick, Chosen. I've said this since I made my video about it a long time ago, and I'll continue to say it. There is more Star Wars DNA in Cobra Kai than anything that Disney Star Wars has ever done. And Cobra Kai doesn't
Wow,
have
yeah.
lightsabers. But when you think of the core values and the themes, it's like when I think of that line from Kim, that to me feels like a Vader line or a Ventress line. Like it fits the type of character you're dealing with. She is a teacher. She's trying to give a lesson, and she is there to do her job.
I know,
Her
but it
job is
sounded too
to intimidate
cartoony.
these kids.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about cartoonish, let's talk about Tori. She said, "Oh, this ends tonight. No mercy."
I know. I like I said, there have been characters who've had worse, cringier lines than her. I'm just talking. We're talking about Kim as a character here.
Yeah, but it
And I'm
actually
just
works for a
talking
character.
about.
I feel like people don't realize it
I
works
mean,
for a character.
I
Like,
don't
said
I
it
don't
many
agree.
times.
Like hearing her say it like that, maybe she said it in a different way. I would have
That's how she
probably
talks, though.
agreed.
That's how she talks. I feel
It's
like
kind of like no, I know. Maybe she said it like no. I'm not talking about the way she talks. I'm just saying if she like said it in like a just like a different way. Just that ending of the line just for me, it just sounded way too much of like of a cartoon villain. I'm not
I
talking, and
mean,
again, I'm not talking about, and again, I'm not disrespecting Kim as a character. I'm just saying, for me, in my opinion, my own personal opinion, that ending of the line, like that ending of the line just wasn't needed. Like if she just would have said, I warned Silver you could not be trusted, and just would have had her like like go after Tori after that, then that would have been like just like perfect. But
me
it's
personally,
just like it's just but it's just that ending of the line was just too. It just didn't feel like if like made her feel like too much of a cartoon villain. You know what I mean? It's that's all for me, and it's my opinion.
I'm
That's
not
all.
saying I'm not disrespecting your opinion. I'm just saying personally, me personally, like people are saying, "Oh, Sensei Kim is a cartoon villain because of that line," but I'm gonna be honest. That line is way better than anything Sam said when it comes to cringy lines. I'm gonna just say.
I know that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying again. I'm not saying that other characters have not had worse cringy lines, but we're talking about Kim here.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm
what we're.
saying my opinion. I don't think it was that cringe. I feel like you're
I
saying you're
know.
getting mad at me because I think that my opinion's wrong.
I'm
Well,
not, but at the same time though, it feels like you're saying you're trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm disrespecting Kim, and I'm not. Like, I'm just saying, like, you asked what the worst moment for her, and like, I'm just explaining my worst moment for her was when she like said that ending of the line. That's all. And I'm not disrespecting Kim as a character. I think she's a good character. But that to me was the cringe. That to me was the cringe, like, because it just sounded too cringy for her as a character. And yes, again, I get there have been characters who have said even worse, cringier lines than that. But that's just for me. That was the end. That was the ending part of just the ending part of it. Like I said, they would have cut the line, like, I warned Silver you couldn't be trusted, and went after Tori after that, like that would have been it. um but yeah, so that's my opinion. That's my opinion right there, is that I feel like that was just too cringy, etc. It just kind of like made her in that moment, a kind of made her feel like too much of a cartoon villain, just the way, and her just saying, her saying that. So
you
that to me
underground.
is one of her worst moments as a character.
You underground. You dipped out and just came back. Okay.
Um.
So I
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um.
yeah. Well, yeah. We're sticking to topic underground.
Should I go next? I guess I think I can go next.
Oh yeah. Good.
Wait, I already have two. Now, her best moment. Honestly, I gotta say her introduction to the show, because I don't know what it is. The moment we saw that opening of episode 6, the moment the plane comes down, Silver gets out his cool car, his glasses, and we see her coming in out of the plane. That was such a good moment, and the music in that scene. Oh, I love the music. The music was perfect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that outfit she was wearing in that scene too when she came to the show, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, that scene felt like a mafia movie.
Yeah, that was a
I
good.
agree.
That was a good
When I
scene.
was when I was watching that scene, I was like, bro, that and the fact that Silver came out of that car like a James Bond villain was so perfect too. Like those two characters in one scene, that one scene was so perfect. There's another scene I did like. I love the fact that the whole lesson of the leader and then the follower thing, when Tori and Devin were teaming up on Kim in that whole lesson, that was a pretty cool
Hmm.
scene. I won't lie.
Yeah.
I feel like it really shows Kim how dangerous she is, and she even mentioned and what I've seen like before the fight, she's like, "You guys wouldn't last 1 minute." That's what Tori did, Kim. Tori did that.
And I
So I don't know.
and I also love how Kim kind of like counters Kreese's old lessons about when Tori says there are no points in the real world, and Kim says, but there are in this lesson.
I just it's just funny because Kim's like, "You wouldn't last 1 minute in my dojang." I'm like, "All right, we'll wait until season 6 then, okay? Yeah, Kim, we'll wait until season 6 because that's what Tori did. She was in your dojang, okay? Honestly, I kind of wish we saw her dojang come to the valley in season 5. Now thinking about it, it's kind of a
Yeah,
missed opportunity. Honestly, a big missed opportunity. I feel like they should have had them come in season 5 instead, because that would have
yeah.
made the whole thing.
Joe, you are you finished, Studio?
No, I think I still have my worst moments actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. The worst moment is her killing Master Kim. I feel like that should never happen. I'm sorry.
Yo, that was unexpected right there.
As much as it's unexpected, I feel like it should never happen. They should have set up Master Kim as the final boss. I do agree with Joe on that. And another thing I don't like is that I feel like for some reason, I don't know, her characters in part 1. I feel like they barely did anything with her character in part 1. like she was there with Kreese, but I'm like, I feel like I wanted to see more of her as a sensei in part 1 of season 6. So that's
Mhm.
another thing. That's another worst moment there. I didn't like. Now, obviously, is the third one. Her making Tori break that stone. I'm like, okay, girl, now you're taking this too far. Okay, I get it, Tori. She doesn't like Cobra Kai anymore during that time, but come on now. Like,
Yeah,
shut up.
that scene was dark, honestly.
That was one
Yeah.
of the darkest scenes. But yeah,
Yep.
I'm done.
Joe, you want to go next?
Enjoy.
Let me see. I've kind of said like all I really have to with this character. Like, um, I really have just kind of, how do I word this? Like, I know that, like I said, she's an utilized character, so there's not much that I can say to really like change. Like, my best moment for her is probably, well, here's something I can say. I'm gonna change my, well, not my answer, because I still think the worst thing that they did with her is have her kill Master Kim. But you know what? One thing that I think is, one thing I'll say that is actually one of my favorite moments of hers, despite I'm not a huge fan of her redemption. I did like during the Sakatai Guy brawl that she was the one to bring down the really annoying bitch from the Russian dojo.
Oh my
That whole
god.
thing, bro, Joe, when she did,
Oh my god.
when she slapped him when she slapped her in the face, I was like, oh. I was laughing, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
She earned that shit.
Yeah, when you started
Yeah.
watching a
And
brawl,
the other thing I'm really upset about, and I don't know whose decision it was. Maybe we're still in a day and age where it's not okay to see kids get beat by an adult. Maybe that's the narrative they're trying to push, but I really am still mad about the end of season 5 that they cut Kim's fight with Sam and Tori.
Yeah. Did they cut
There's
it,
been no
or was it Tori and Devin's fight in the dojo brawl that they cut?
I feel like
one.
Joe. I feel like what you know what, Joe. I agree. I think what you're trying to say is I feel like they should have made it longer.
Yeah, well, they cut it. You can tell, like, they didn't want us to see the outcome, so they cut it so we couldn't see
Yeah,
it.
like it was
And then
it was only like a few seconds. Oh, she just beats him a few seconds. That's it. And
Yeah, I think it was Tori and Devin's fight with Kim in the dojo brawl that they cut. I don't think they cut Sam and Tori's fight with Kim. I
no,
think
they
it was
did.
Yeah,
Tori
but
They
I
all
do
joined.
wish.
They all join in at the end, and then Sam's getting ready to fight her, and then it's cut, and then you just see Kim is with the Kim is escaped.
I do wish though, because I feel like that fight should have lasted a little bit longer. Because I am kind
We
of like
cut it up, man. They definitely cut it up.
Okay,
But
I
Wait,
feel like
wait, are
Yeah,
you
they
sure
did.
it was wait, are you sure it was not it was Sam and Tori's fight with Sensei Kim and not in the dojo, because we saw them fighting. We saw them fighting in
oh
the
yeah,
dojo.
Joe. Yeah, Joe. She's right. We saw them fighting, and then Devin
it
came in to
wasn't
help
done.
them.
The fight wasn't done because they
Yeah,
all
oh, 'cause you're
joined in
trying to
the
say,
end.
oh, so Joe, what you're trying to tell me is that the fight, like the full fight, wasn't done. Like we didn't see.
That's
the
what I'm
actual-
saying.
Right,
Is
but see, it was Tori and Devin and Sensei Kim's fight in the dojo brawl that was cut.
Yeah, but I
No,
think Joe's trying
we
to. What
saw-
Joe's trying to say here is that the Tori and Sam versus Kim fight was short. It was very
Yes. Well,
short.
so what happened
Yeah.
is you had, yes, there was a whole sequence cut between the two of them that was happened. But what had happened was we had gotten to the point where it was supposed to be Sam in there helping Tori, and then they start fighting, and then they cut it so you don't see the outcome of the fight.
Yeah, like Sam goes helped Anthony, and that's it. Like she goes helped Anthony. Like I'm like, bro, I wanted to see more of this fight.
Oh, okay, Jake. Understandable.
Okay. So there was supposed to be more to that scene. Not that they didn't do it, but because I remember them just saying that they cut a scene, that they cut the Devin and Tori and versus Kim
Yeah, they did cut that.
uh,
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember hearing they cut. I'm talking about literally. If you go back and watch season 5, we're watching this great fight, and we're
You
so,
mean
and
like-
even Sam is standing up to Kim. And you're like, oh, this is really interesting. This is actually impressive that she's lasting this long. And then when they're cutting back and forth from scene to scene, by the time you get back to the rest of the fight, we don't see the outcome.
Yeah, I
Well,
do
they
see where
cut
you're
it.
going.
They did a
Yeah.
stupid trick. Oh, is Jake still having problems?
Oh yeah, yeah.
we
Is it-
basically don't see the whole fight, is what you're saying.
Yes.
We
Understand.
don't see the whole fight.
Okay.
No,
Yeah. What was it,
nobody's
Elise?
ignoring you,
my bad.
Darla. We're just discussing, but nobody's ignoring you. We're just
No, yeah, it's
discussing.
like-
We're basically discussing what you're basically asking in the
Saying.
comments.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody's ignoring you.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it was like, I don't know. I thought that they were setting up something really cool, and I thought that if the finale was longer, we deserved to see that fight. And I saw a lot of people say something like there's something they did with the camera where they made it where it looked like it was going to continue, and then it just cuts out. And then we never go back to that moment. We never see I think Sam in the end of the fight, I think she got some bruises, but we didn't see the whole entire thing.
I feel like my problem with that fight is because they wanted to make Kim this big threat right in season 5. I just feel like for some reason I wasn't
Yep.
really seeing it in that fight. In some sort of way, I don't know. I wasn't really seeing.
See, if they showed that she beat them so badly, then I would have been more believable in her as a threat. Because then we at least would have known that 2 of the strongest teen fighters couldn't beat this Sensei. And,
Yeah,
and that would have told us, okay, Kim's kind of serious. We kind of got to take her serious. Because one of my biggest problems with her is until we see her fight in the Sekataikai Brawl, even though she does land some licks in, we never see Kim have a fight against an opponent that is actually considered to be a match for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, I'm glad you put that up. You know what the problem is?
I'll be
Remember
right
that-
back, guys.
Joe, remember
Okay.
that Iron Dragon's female sensei?
Yeah.
They should have made her rival.
I don't know why they didn't. Whatever happened to that? I don't know why they cut that there was other senseis in that dojo and they didn't utilize that.
Because I know there was a female Iron Dragon sensei. We saw in part 3.
But then she didn't intervene in anything.
Yeah, that's my big issue. You could have used that female sensei, and Silver's telling her, "Oh, that's Sensei Kim. She's very dangerous." Silver tells her about Sensei Kim.
Yeah, Reese
Yeah,
doesn't
the-
like Jake very much, Darla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I've been backing out of Reese in and out because I found something pretty crazy, but I'm not going to talk about it because it'd be off topic again.
You know,
Oh yeah, Jake. I had
Here, I'll say it in the private chat.
yeah,
Hold on.
yeah, Jake. I had the same problem. Yeah,
Hold
I
on.
had the same problem.
Sensei Kim, bro. What a
Hold on a second. I'm saying in the private chat. I just read something big. On X.
Honestly, I agree with you, Joe. I feel like we should have
What?
seen Sensei Kim fight more female senseis.
I'm just gonna say in
Yeah.
the private chat because it'd be off topic.
But
Yeah, I blame.
Joe.
I still blame. And people can say what they want until I get the actual story out there. From what I heard from what the big 3 said, I 100% blame Hillary Swank for that, because they were even Watch Party was doing videos and stuff. They were totally setting up to have Julie be her rival, and then they didn't get Julie, so then they didn't have a backup plan. That's the thing these guys need to
what
understand.
they should
That's
have
the thing.
done.
That's
Yeah.
the thing they need to understand is if you really know, like, you're trying to get an actor, but you're not guaranteed to get that actress, have a backup plan. Because come
See,
on,
that's the problem, Joe. You know what they should have done? I feel like this is a big mistake from season 6. Like, I would have brought Julie in part 1. And the reason why I would bring her in part 1 is because
interesting.
she would be the one to help Tori. Like, because Tori lost her mom. She would help Tori. Like, she would give her advice. She would
Yeah.
help her. She would be there for her. And you would set up the Kim and Julie Pierce rivalry in part 2.
That
Yeah,
would
the
have been
biggest
that's
cool.
what
issue with
Holly
that is apparently
setting up what they were doing.
the biggest issue with that is I heard apparently that multiple times I've heard it that apparently Hilary Swank didn't want to come back.
Why?
Like they asked her multiple times, and for whatever reason she said no. And you want to know what's fucked up about it? Apparently they never even got to speak to Hillary herself. Every time they talked to her agent. You know how
Big
messed up
mistake.
that is?
That's a big
Oh,
mistake
wow.
for her because your
Yep.
character could have been better, and this would have maybe redeemed the next Karate Kid. You made a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said it many times, they could have redeemed that next Karate Kid. They could have done that. I mean, they redeemed Karate Kid 3 when Silver came back. Like, if it wasn't
You have
for
to
Silver
choose to
in
not
season
look
4,
at them.
if it wasn't for Silver in season 4, Karate Kid 3 would have never been that great, honestly.
Yeah.
Even
So whose turn is it?
I actually don't know. I
Jake?
I'm
it's
not
Jake's
actually
turn.
not really in the mood right now. I'm kind of upset right now.
Oh, okay.
You're
I'm
upset
not
over the
really.
leak?
I don't feel like
Yeah.
talking about it. I don't. Yeah, you can pass on me. I'm good.
Okay.
You're still
All right.
upset over the leaks, Jake?
No, don't. Let's not talk about it, Joe. Let's stay on topic.
I'm
Yeah.
not worried, so I'm good.
I just didn't know it would upset you that much.
Yeah, like what made you like so like?
You must have
I'm not-
seen something that really changed your experience. Can you put it in the private chat?
He did.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Underground, do you want to go?
Uh, um, yeah, I agree with everyone's answer.
Oh, are these or is this our next topic? The best fights of Kim Da-Eun?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, let me think about this. I gotta think about this. You guys can go. Whoever wants to go.
Best fight.
You see, this is a big problem too. By the way, when it comes to best fight, my only issue with the best fights is I feel like they kind of lacked on giving her so many fights. Like there was only a couple like that we got, but I feel like we should have gotten more fights with her.
But Jake, not to talk about it on here, but you know better not to read that stuff.
Yeah, I'm staying
Were
away
you
from
just
it.
scrolling
Yeah.
text and just not paying attention, or like?
I was just. Yeah.
Do you not remember what a travesty Cobra Kai season 6 was in terms of leaks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Oh,
people that are
don't
just
even
putting-
get me started on them.
There's
Bro.
people that are just putting that shit out there in the open, Jake, and there's nothing you can do about it except
know-
avoid it.
Yeah.
Do what I did with Deadpool
Listen.
and Wolverine, man. Block it.
Yeah, you can't listen. You can't avoid what other people post, but you can avoid looking at it.
Yep.
you know
You
what's
can
crazy?
avoid you can avoid clicking on it, looking at it. You can avoid that.
Bro, Jake, the fact that you said you got spoiled by death, that got me flashbacks to Quan dying in the leak. Not gonna lie. I remember when someone said, "Oh, Kwan's gonna die with the knife. He's gonna like do like a spinning kick and he dies. And I remember how people were like, "No, that's never gonna happen." That was crazy, honestly. But yeah, that's
Oh,
gonna be
and
When I hear the word, before we get back on the fights of Kim Da-Eun,
okay.
when I hear that there are leaks for something that I'm interested in, I do not read it.
Yeah, but Joe, here's the thing. Sometimes you are scrolling through social media, you accidentally see something.
Yes, but you need to make precautions so that that doesn't happen. So, Jake, I learned with Netflix that they don't care about, they don't stop that stuff, especially what happened with the Brazil situation. So, here's what I would say. When Deadpool Wolverine came out, even though that's a movie, not a TV show, I blocked 10,000 people until I saw the movie for a week.
Oh,
For a
damn.
week.
Mm.
So when it comes to that, you have to do what you have to do. And to me, if you're following, so like, for instance, Jake, I don't like My Time to Shine Hello, right?
Yeah.
So when new movies come out, I'm following her right now because I need videos and scoops on things. But when a new movie comes out or a new show comes out, I delete her for a week because
Oh, wow.
she won't shut her fucking mouth and she doesn't know when to stop. So
Yeah.
so I need to block her because I like the information she gives, but when I'm getting ready to watch a movie or a show, I don't want to be spoiled. So I'm like, no, fuck it.
But
You're gone.
all I'll say, Chosen, there
yeah.
is something that you've said in the past about from one of the shots in the trailer, and that certain characters might be looking at a certain something. You might be onto something.
All right, I'm gonna message you in private, Jake, about it.
All right, so
That's
the
all
I
I'll
best
don't
say.
fight-
know.
so the best fights of Kim Da-Eun, I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember.
Oh my god, that comment pissed me off. I'm sorry. That comment in the chat. I'm sorry.
I saw it too. I was ignoring it at first, Chosen, because I didn't want
Yeah.
it to uproar you.
Here, let me. That's all I'll say.
I'm gonna answer this question. I'm probably gonna leave after that because I can see Retrolad's already messaging me that
Oh,
him
okay.
him and Luke are waiting for me on Discord right now. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Can I just also say like what my best fights for Kim were?
well, yeah,
I mean,
we're gonna all answer this. I'll answer first, then I'll leave.
okay.
Then you guys can continue on the topic.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for everyone to be ready because I know Jake and Chosen are messaging. So I'm still trying to think what my best, because it says best fights. I'm gonna be honest, Underground, and I know you labeled it best fights. I don't think we can say fights because she didn't do a lot. I think there's maybe only one that I think would be considered a standout. Because I think, you know what I'm gonna say, this is probably a hot take. Her best fight is when those guys were picking on her and Chosen in part 2.
Oh, that was actually a good one. I actually
Yeah.
like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Because I think that was actually a good use of her skills, and I liked how she did that. I also really did like, not in the end fight, but when she was sparring, just with Devin and Tori, you could see a lot of interesting uses of her skills. I think there's interesting stuff there, and even for her part in the brawl, I think she did some pretty good stuff when dealing with those Russian idiots. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the best fights. I'll probably be streaming in a little bit.
All right. Hey Joe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hey Joe, do you want to hear mine? My
Yeah.
best
Maybe
fight
real
with
quick.
Kim is the fight that she had with the Russian sensei. Like,
Yeah, that's
because
pretty much
that was her first fight that she actually had with an adult sensei.
It was.
Like, seriously, all of her fights have either been with random people like those drunk guys in season 6, or with teenagers. Like, this was a real legitimate like fight
Yeah,
that she
I
ever
agree.
had that she had with a real sensei that can match her skill.
It was nice that we had that.
You know what's kind of crazy about
Yeah,
that?
so
though?
even though it wasn't a moment.
What's crazy about that? People don't
So even
realize they've been setting up that fight since episode 9. Because if you look back at the Cobra Kai versus Tiger Strike fight in episode 9 during the tag team match, the Tiger Strike Sensei girl was giving Sensei Kim that smirk on her face after she won that match. So it was set up since episode 9.
She wanted to put her
I
in
hear
her,
you putting on your
place.
PlayStation over there, Joe.
Yep.
So
I hear
gotta
that
get in.
sound. I hear that sound.
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
hear it too.
I'm gonna say a hot take. I'm not to say the very hot, one of the most hottest takes I ever gave. I think that rivalry with Sensei Kim and the Tiger Strike Sensei is a way better rivalry than Miguel and Axel's, and that's a hot take.
Oh wow.
Oh, D-Man's in here.
It is
All
what
right,
it
guys.
is.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
Crying Split
Bye,
live
Joe.
as well.
Bye,
All
guys.
I might pop in over there when we're done with this.
But yeah, I think those two girls have a better rivalry than Miguel and Axel. So I will give Sensei Kim some flowers.
Yeah. So that's my that's my favorite best fight. All right. So Jake, what's your best fight with Kim?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I kind of agree with Chosen. That's a great one.
I do
Which one?
too, honestly.
The one I'm talking about? Okay. Wait, hold on. What are you
Yeah.
guys talking about? Wait, what are you guys talking about? I'm
The
confused.
The
fight?
one you're talking about.
What do you mean the one I'm talking about?
The fight
The
that you were
fight.
talking about.
I never said that's my favorite fight. Or the best fight.
I said that was my favorite fight. I said that was my favorite fight. The fight between Sensei Kim and the Sensei Tiger Strike
Yeah,
woman.
she's the one that said it.
Sensei Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't go yet, so she's the one who said
Oh,
it.
Yeah, I
alright.
like that fight. That fight was good.
Mine is different. Mine's is different. I like since it's my turn. I like the Tori and Devin versus Kim fight during the lesson of who's the leader and who's the follower.
Oh
Mhm,
yeah,
that was a good
that's a
fight.
good
That
one.
is a
too.
good one though. That is a
That's
good
a
one.
good one.
I don't know what it is. Something about that fight was, I don't know. There's something good about that fight. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Okay.
My only problem with Kim's characters in season 5 is that my biggest problem with Kim's character in season 5 is that they only had her fight teenagers.
You see, that's the
Like-
thing. I do feel like, and I actually do agree with that. Maybe because there wasn't any other female sensei in season 5, but what they should have done, and I feel like this would actually be a perfect time to bring her in. I know a lot of people are saying season 6, but I feel like it would have been better if they brought Julie back in season 5. Because you could have had Julie be in season 5, and she could be rivals with her in season 5, and you wouldn't see her fight teenagers. Well, I mean, you could still have her fight Tori and Sam. I'm fine with that. But when Tori and Sam loses, Julie Pierce saves them, and she fights Kim. That's what they should have done, actually. But yeah, I agree with that. I feel like they should have brought a female sensei in Miyagi-Do. Or Miyagi-Fan, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Should we go on the next topic or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go on the next
I feel like I
topic.
know what it is. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling this would be the next thing. Okay, can I go first on this one? I think I have my answer for this. Okay, one or two things. Okay, one or two things. Okay, I think this is pretty easy for me. The one thing I would change about her character, I do feel like I wanted to see more of her as a villain in season 6 before she gets her redemption. I just feel like I wanted to see more as a villain because I feel like five episodes wasn't enough for her to be a villain for season 5. I feel like we should have seen her as a villain in season 6 as well. And then obviously you could still set up her redemption by like the back half of season 6. I would still set up that redemption arc. But I feel like we should see more as a villain. Another thing I would change, I feel like we should have seen her more as a sensei in part 1, where she's actually training Quan and Yoon for the tournament.
Yeah.
We never really get to see that, actually. Now thinking about it. So yeah, that's my thing. I would change for the character.
Okay. So, okay, so one of the things I would change about her character It's basically just basically what chosen that said. I would have spent more. I wish they would have made and I actually would have kind of like uh okay. I don't know how to word this. So I would have actually just made her a real villain, like all the way through, but maybe like in season 6, maybe a little bit towards the end, maybe set the breadcrumbs where um where you see a different where she is good deep down inside, but she doesn't get not give her a full not give her a redemption arc until we get a spin-off. Like
Yeah.
set it up more that way instead of just like pushing the like even a partial redemption, like um instead of just pushing the redemption because oh, it's the final season and blah
Right.
blah 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 blah. I would have just like set
You know
breadcrumbs
what?
Yeah.
to it. Like I kind of would have like think about wait, Stevio, before you say anything. Um I would have basically given her the chosen treat, the Karate Kid 2 chosen treatment, where she doesn't where like how in Karate Kid 2 chosen doesn't get a redemption. That's what I but in the spin-off Cobra Kai, we see him as redeemed. What I would have done that for her. Like I would have given her the chosen
You know,
treatment
you brought up
in that
the
in
whole
that
like them
sense.
like kind of like spreading out and then you get that spin off. You know, the one thing they could have done actually, and I'm going to bring up, maybe the way they could do it is like, because how you know how Quan dies, right? I feel like somehow, some way that might set it
Right.
up for her because her top student died in the tournament where everyone sees it. Somehow,
Yeah,
some way they
maybe.
set it up like that.
The okay, okay. This is a little off topic, but uh, did you guys see the uh most recent uh poll I put on YouTube?
Yeah, I did. And I
Wait, what
voted.
was the poll again, everyone?
Um,
Actually, I voted on Instagram.
um, uh, it it was a first blood karate street fight.
Oh, are you talking about the season 3 Hawk and Quan vote?
Yeah.
I voted season 3 Hawk actually. I know that's surprising because I'm a Quan Glazer, but I actually do think season 3 Hawk would destroy Quan in that fight because if you remember how he did to Brooks, imagine what he does to
Well,
Quan.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do think though Quan would put up a decent fight though. I think he'll put up a decent fight with his kicks and stuff, but I think by the end of it, Hawk destroys him.
Yeah. So okay, so I said my worst like things I would change about her character, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I would change about her character is I would have her like I mean, narratively speaking, like I would have her still antagonize Tori, like just to give her that push that she needs to out of Cobra Kai and into Miyagi-Do. Um, but I would also have her antagonize the adults as well, the adult senseis
Yeah.
too. Like show that she really is a huge threat. Like really, really put that status quo in that she really is a really huge threat, and like have her mention that she's Master Kim's granddaughter. That's the thing. They never said that she never revealed to them that she was Master Kim's
But
granddaughter
don't they already know though?
in season 5. I would have had that. I would have had her do that. I'm saying that
Yeah,
she
but
never
even
said
though
it.
she
Like
never
I
said
don't think they know.
I
I
swear they
don't.
knew by season 6 that she would. I feel like that's the big problem, though, is that even though they knew about it, I feel like what.
I don't know. I don't know if they know, but it would have. I don't know if they know or not, but I don't. I don't think they do. But like I said, in season 5, I would have had her reveal that
Yeah, but here's
to
the thing what I'm
Chosen
trying to
and
say is that
Johnny,
even though they
telling
know,
them.
my biggest issue is that I feel like it would have been better if she revealed it instead of them just knowing about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah, but
saying,
they know, but that's the
CBO. I
thing, they know
said,
about it. In season 6, they should know by then because
well,
Korean Cobra Kai, like,
well, they should, but there's no
yeah,
confirmation.
but it
There's
doesn't
no
matter if there's no
confirmation that
confirmation.
they
That's the
do.
big
But
problem.
I'm just saying, in season 5, I would have had her reveal to Johnny and Chosen in that moment after they fought, fought the Sensei blonde guy, that she was Master Kim's granddaughter when she made her big entrance with
Yeah,
the
I agree. I think that's
senseis
what they should have done.
about challenging them to a fight.
I know
That
what you're
is
trying to
what
say,
I'm
though.
saying.
I'm
We
agreeing
don't
with you. I
know if
think
they
that's what they should have done, but I feel like they already know by season
okay.
6.
I mean, I'm just saying we don't know
Yeah, but
if
why
they
would
know or
Chosen get
not.
with
But I'm
Kim
just saying
then?
it would
That's
have
the thing that
been.
people forget. The only reason why, and Chosen was in Korea, so I wouldn't.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like when you consider the rivalry between Sato and Master Kim, why would he get with Chosen if he knew that would that I mean can't why would he get with
I
Kim
think
if
the
he
problem
knew
is that is
that
off-screen
Sensei
stuff. I
Kim?
think that's a problem. It's off-screen. That's a big problem. Like they do this.
So I'm just saying, like, we don't know if they know or not.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm just making a guess that they know,
that's
but they didn't just. I think they know, but the problem is that they should have revealed it. That's the problem. I feel like it's better if they reveal it.
well, that's what that's I mean, we could guess, but I think that that may be something they reveal in the spinoff, but or that maybe Chosen finds out.
I don't know. I just feel like it's
Um
kind of weird because
that
why?
so
It's so weird.
because that sets it up it kind of sets up like the drama part of it. So but again, like I said, I think um whether or not if they know or not is up for debate. Because like I said, they never revealed it, but I'm saying that that's one thing I would change. Like I would have her like straight out reveal to Johnny and Chosen in season 5 that she was Master Kim's granddaughter and they're taking over Cobra Kai and spreading his
It's just
legacy.
weird to me because
That would have
you brought in a Cobra Kai dojo that's Korea or Korean, and Johnny Daniels sees it like, who is this new Cobra Kai? But they should know who this is because it's Korean Cobra Kai. And who's from Korea? Sensei Kim. They should have known that, and that's the big problem I have. Like,
I mean, it's possible though that they didn't know that they were from Korea. That's the whole thing, and that it's
yeah, I
possible.
think that's a big problem with the show. I think that's a big issue with the show. I have.
So anyway, that's the one thing I would change. Like I would have her reveal in that moment to Chosen and Johnny that she's Master Kim's granddaughter and that she's there to help Silver spread his legacy. The legacy of her grandfather's teachings to the world. So what I would that's what I would change because that right there establishes like like who she is as a villain
Wait.
and what they're really up against. And so that those are the two things those are the things that I would change. Beyond the Kai, what would you your turn?
Oh, um, one, um, I would have uh changed the fact that that she that she that she accomplished w- uh what she set out to do, and
Okay.
and that's and that is um uh showing Master Kim's teachings all over the world. That, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and my second um is that um um I would have made um okay, the second thing that I would change is is her staying as a villain.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just rewatching the Johnny and Chosen vs
Yeah.
Sensei. I'm just seeing something. I want to see if I'm missing anything.
Whose turn is it? Um
I think it's Jake's turn.
Um,
But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Underground.
I honestly don't know.
I think we're all in agreement. I think we're all in agreement on that. That they should have had Kim stay
yeah.
as a villain, at least in Cobra Kai, and at least made, at the very least, just made small breadcrumbs that that she's not as she's not as cruel as as they make her appear to be, and set up more of a redemption arc and a spin-off rather than just push it um, at the end of the
Right.
show. What were you saying, Jake?
Yeah, for sure.
What? And it's your turn,
Right.
right?
Uh a a a Jake, is everything okay?
Yeah. Are you? Is everything all right?
Um I don't know.
Jake, are you okay?
No. I think Restream is acting up again.
Uh, sounds like he's. It sounds like he's frozen.
Yeah. Um so should we move on to the next or or or
Yeah.
wait a few minutes? Okay. Um
Yeah. Let's move. Let's move on.
uh wait, what did he say?
Oh, it looks like we lost CVO.
Uh
Looks like it's just us now. Underground, you there?
Okay.
I'm here. Age, age,
Okay.
age,
Yeah.
Jake's
hey,
back. Hey.
Jake, did you want to, uh, did you just want to set this one out for the night? Since,
Oh, we just
uh,
lost him again.
hold on,
He still couldn't hear
hold on,
us. All right.
hold on.
All right, now I hear. Okay.
W- um, okay. What I was gonna ask if is that if you want to set this one out for the night because Restream is is acting up again.
Given yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Why not?
So you want to give the ending one?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Just I don't know what. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about this one. I don't know what to say about this one. Yeah, I think I'll just sit this one out. I don't know what to say about this one right now.
Oh, okay, all good.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
All
fine.
right.
Uh,
Oh, we just lost him again. All right. So you want to call it a night underground since we kind of lost our group a little bit.
um, um, I just put the fourth uh topic down.
Oh, okay. Oh, what's the
Uh,
fourth topic? What is it?
her family dynamics.
Oh, okay. All right. We could talk about that. Um, so her family dynamic, I wish we would have got to explore more of Sensei Kim's backstory, like what happened with her
Yeah.
parents, why her grandfather is raising her, is like raising her. And I kind of wish we would have. I mean, we see how cruel her grandfather is to her, so I kind of like wanted to like maybe wish we would have gotten delved more into that, like why that is.
Yeah.
Um, why that why that really is. I feel like that was a missed opportunity, or at the very least, again, set the breadcrumbs for
Right.
it
Yeah.
for when we see her again in the future. But I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Narratively speaking, I feel like that would have added. I felt like that would have again set the breadcrumbs for Kim's relationship with her grandfather, like for her redemption in a spinoff. And rather than just trying to like just like force a redemption because she's with Chosen
Right.
um on her. So I felt like if you would have done it that way, if that's where the breadcrumbs would have been, like having just seeing a little bit just like seeing the backstory a little bit of it, like why she's so cruel, and just leaving it right there, and it's basically saying, okay, that's another story that we're going to go into later on. um then I think that would have been more perfect. um Honestly, I didn't like her relationship with her grandfather
Yeah, that
because
was
it felt like
epic.
they didn't really, they didn't really, they didn't really do much with it in a sense where, it helped Kim's character in any way, you
Yeah.
know? I feel like it was just there to just like like I felt like it was just there to just show why Kim is the way she is, but at the same time it's like they didn't really
So
do much with
yeah,
it, you know?
they really didn't
I did-
show enough of that.
Yeah. I liked her relationship with with Silver. It was a bit antagonistic, like it was more like a professional relationship, like antagonistically professional.
Right.
Um they didn't like um and I kind of wish like they would have maybe done a little bit more with it. Yeah, they would. Yeah, I like that picture. I wish they would have done a little bit more with
Yeah.
it. I also kind of wish we would have seen Silver's relationship with her
Oh,
grandfather.
oh, uh,
Uh,
uh, speaking of,
yeah. Well, I was talking about her relationship. I'm talking about. I mean, I wish we would have seen Silver's relationship with Master Kim.
yeah,
More, but yeah, and just see like how that relationship is so different, you know, like Master Kim's relationship with Silver compared to how Master Kim's relationship is with Kim.
yeah,
And that would have been kind of like an interesting comparison. Like an interesting or an interesting contrast, I should
yeah.
say. An interesting
I hear
contrast.
you.
Because I think like Silver's the kind of person that actually takes to Master Kim's lessons a lot more. What Master Kim would say as a lot more successfully, like with a lot, you know, with a lot more ruthlessness.
Yeah,
Better than Kreese and Kim do. So, and speaking of that, I also do like that. I do like that relationship because it shows a different side of Kreese and a different side of Kim. But again, they really didn't. Again, they didn't do much with it. Like they just had Kreese standing there like like an idiot. Like, especially, Kreese just standing there and letting Kim antagonize Tori like that was so too out of character. And then, like, he just stands there and says nothing can, when Tori confronts Kim about breaking her hand. Like, come on, like we all believed, like, if when the second Kreese found out about that he was gonna let Kim have it. Like, I wish they would have done more with it. Like they I feel like again they just put it in there and for no reason. Like they did nothing with it. And it's like it's a forced, it feels like it was just something that was forced
yeah. I get
in
it.
order to change Kim's character in the change Kim's character from the way she was in season 5 to what she is now in season 6, and I wouldn't be so against it if again if it was set up properly. But because they put it in so late, it wasn't set up properly, so therefore it just feels forced. And I mean, and like I said, in a spin-off where they dive more and more into it, that it could work, like it could work in a spin-off for that because we'll get more, because it'll be set up a lot better because we'll have more time with it. But in regards to Cobra Kai, the show, it wasn't. It wasn't for where Cobra Kai ended. With the with her as a character, it was not set up properly. These relationships were not set up properly to further Kim's character.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
But I mean, and I did touch upon Kim's relationship with Chosen.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
you did.
did touch upon that. So, my feelings on that. It's like it's again with all these like just like all the other relationships, it just was not set up properly in Cobra Kai. Now in a spinoff, I'll more than likely say differently. But my opinion with with the relationships and them and doing what they did with Kim's character between season 5 and season 6 will remain in regards to Cobra
Yeah.
Kai.
And um um and I think we talked about the fifth topic without even realizing it.
Oh, what is it?
Connections with Master Kim, Kreese, Silver, Quan,
Oh
Chosen,
yeah.
Tori, Devin, and Johnny.
Oh yeah. I mean, I liked her relationship with Devin a little bit. Thought that was interesting to show Kim's softer side, but Tori's relationship with her, I thought was so
Yeah.
cruel. But narratively speaking, I realized I see why it was necessary. It's what gave Tori, it's what, believe it or not, Kim's relationship with Tori is what allowed Tori to grow as a character.
Yeah.
It's like it set her on the path. It's what allowed us to become. It's what allowed her to become a character where we all found ourselves rooting for, and it's that character, that development that is what allowed her to become a world champion at
Yeah.
the end.
Um
So I'll say
um
that.
uh, um I just found it funny uh what
Where's the
Kim said to Johnny. Um
Oh, about him being mistaking him from Daniel.
yeah, and she also said, You bark like your blonde dog."
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh my
That was funny.
that oh my god, that was awful and funny at the same time. Um
Yep. Um,
well, uh, I had some pictures uh lined up for all of us. Um um
Do you want to maybe show them to me on Instagram? Because we're about to hit the 2 hour mark.
Ugh. I mean, uh,
Maybe we could show them here, but I'm just saying we're about to hit the 2 hour mark.
all right, um, okay, I will uh, show them, um, um, after the stream ends. If um,
Okay.
if you're still here,
Yeah, or you I mean you could show them here, or we'll just do it real quick. You can show them here, just so everybody else, so everybody could see them online. You
yeah,
know.
sure. I mean, yeah,
All right. That's cool. Yeah, I like that image of them.
yeah, I do too.
That's a good one.
Yeah, this one scene was unexpected. I uh I didn't actually think that she'll end up killing him. What about you? What about you?
I mean, I didn't think so either, and I'm disappointed. And like Joe, I'm disappointed that they even went that route with her. I, I felt like they shouldn't have killed Master. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy is 150 years old. It's about time he died. It's about,
Damn.
but it's at the same time though, it's like the guy's 150 like something years old. So
Yeah, I get you.
it
I get it.
it's about time he died. Like, but I'm
Oh
I'm
my
just
god.
saying, like, I would have I wouldn't have had like Kim be the one to do it. I would have had him more like die at the end of season 6. I would have, but see, then again, that goes about like them doing them doing something a little bit different. Like Joe, I completely agree with him that I don't think that the final fight should have been at the tournament. I feel like it should have been outside with the senseis.
Yeah.
Um and with Master Kim, I feel like they should have been the ones to end his life. Like that's where Chosen's line in season 3 to Daniel says sometimes you don't have any choice but to kill.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that too.
So that would have brought Chosen's line that Chosen said to Daniel in season 3 to light.
Yeah.
So and then being the ones that were forced to do it. So yeah, so that's what I would have done. So you got another picture? Yeah, she has a beautiful smile.
Yeah. Oh, um, 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 yeah, I, okay, um, I have to give, wait, I have to give Alicia and Kim uh Flowers uh for playing such a phenomenal character.
Yeah. Yeah, she played her well.
Yeah, honestly, he did.
That's a good picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Another good one. She takes great pictures. She takes really great photos. Another good one.
Th- this uh um this was when she was training
Yeah, in the
Tori and Devin.
training. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the
in the
training lesson.
dojo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the training lesson. Yep. Aw, that's cute.
Yeah. Uh, I like this one honestly.
Yeah, that's cute. That's a good one. I like that one.
Y- 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 Yeah. Yeah. And 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 obviously this is offset.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Man. Uh Funny picture right here.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah, this picture right here is awesome. Um um one of um one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah. Also a nice one.
Um I think they took this one um I think they took this one i- in Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because Peyton List is there. So,
Yeah.
yep. Also a good one.
Yo, this one right here, uh, this one right here, uh, uh, screams evil.
Yep.
I mean, look at their faces.
Yeah. Yep. Also nice.
Y- 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 Yeah, um, I felt bad for Tori, um, in this scene be, because she had no choice. I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah. Yep. How many
And
pictures do you have?
after this one, '15 more.
15 more?
Yeah.
All right, because it's getting kind of late where I am. Do you think maybe um we could maybe just stop right here and then you could send the rest to me on Instagram?
Oh, okay. All right. I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Underground. I can't I can't stay for too much longer. Unless, of
Okay.
course, if we just breeze right through the pictures, you know? Um,
Yeah,
but you can send them to me on Instagram and I'll comment on them, okay?
I will.
All
Um,
right. All right. This was a great stream, okay? This is a really great stream.
yeah. All right, everyone. Uh, thank you so much for o- w- watching this podcast. I hope you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I want to give a shout out to y- you, Melissa, CBO, Jake, and Joe for being on. Um,
Yep, this was really great. It's our pleasure being on, you know.
y-
This was awesome. This was awesome.
yeah, um, yeah. Even though we got a little off topic at some point.
Yeah, yep. And I think that's the problem. That's why we can't go through all these pictures because we've spent too much time getting off topic and talking about certain things that were not on topic, that if we would have just stuck to the topic, we probably would have been able to get through all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh. All right. All right, everyone. Um. We'll catch you. Uh. Next Friday. Um. Um.
Do you already know what you're gonna do? Who's next? Because I'm voting for Chosen.
Honestly. Um. I have no idea who I am gonna uh m- make a podcast on next.
Okay, but I mean, just saying, my vote is Chosen.
Yeah.
Since we talked about Kim, you know.
Y- Yeah. True. True. Oh. Oh. Okay. 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 All right. All right. All right. Scratch that. I do have. I do have one person in mind, but
Okay.
I but I but I am not going to say who. Um that is going to
I mean,
be
you could. I mean, you could tell me in the a surprise.
okay. All right. Um. All right.
Well, you could tell me in the private chat, and I won't
Okay.
say it out loud. I promise.
Okay. Um. Hold on. Hold on. I am gonna. Uh,
Okay. Didn't we do him though already?
no. No, we didn't.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am positive.
Okay. All right. If we didn't do him, I am 100% on board.
Yeah. Um.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is
Anyways. Yeah.
that.
Um.
Yep.
y- 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 all right, guys. We will see you guys next Friday on episode 34. Thank
Yep.
you all for watching, and we'll see
And
you guys.
in the next one.
Yeah.
And I'll see you underground on Instagram.